much prefers the morning yoga, so she'll do this tomorrow morning.
Okay, fair enough. She's got the recording, so.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, I'm going to pop you all on mute, or you can mute yourselves.
I'll just say, Christina, this is just a trial for me. If it's way too hard, that doesn't matter. You know, I'll just see how I go.
Use those 2 blocks I've given you.
Yes, absolutely.
And only go as far as you're able. But
Yep,
yeah, it's
absolutely.
just listening to the body. Okay. All right. So we are going to start in a nice, easy position, lying on our backs. So the simple and easy way to start the meeting. So just go ahead and come to lie down on your back to start. And we've done this before. We're going to start with a counting breath today. So you can either take your legs long on the mat, or you can take your feet wider than hip width apart and let your knees rest in together. Take your arms away from the body, palms facing up. And once you're there, go ahead and just take a nice long deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, let it all out in a big long sigh. Then close down the mouth and come to your regular, normal breath for you, in and out through the nose. This position that we're in is just called constructive rest, and know that you come back here or to child's pose at any time throughout the practice if you need to take a rest, and then join us when you are ready and willing. Remember that everything I ask you to do is simply an offer. Please listen to your body first. If there are certain things that you know you can't do, then please don't do them. And then I will usually provide more than one option as we go into different postures, so that you have choices. You don't have to go to all 3 levels. You can start at the first level, or if there's only 2 levels. That's everything I need to go from there. So let's come back now into our breath, and we're going to do a counting breath today. So all that means is that you're going to be breathing slowly in and out through the mouth, filling the entire lungs, but you're going to be inhaling for the same count or number in as you exhale and you breathe out. And we're going to just pause for a count of 1 at both the end of the inhale and the end of the exhale. So I'm going to use the number 5 as an example. I'm going to start by breathing in together, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause for 1. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause for 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause for 1. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause for 1. Continue in just counting in your head and finding a number that works for you. So 5 may or may not be the right number. It might be more, it might be less, but as long as the number is the same going in as going out. It's just a nice, easy way to control the breath, fill the lungs. We're going to practice for 3 or 4 more breaths. After the next breath, you can let go of the count and the pauses, but continue to breathe long, deep breaths through your lungs, where you'll want to continue to sort of focus the breath throughout this practice. And then on your next breath in, we're going to lift the hips to the sky in a bridge. And as you exhale, allow your hips to come back down to the ground. Do 2 more like that. As you inhale, lift the hips to the sky in a bridge. And exhale, hips back to the ground. Once more, inhale up, exhale down. We're going to keep going, but now we're going to add in the arms. So as you inhale, the hips are going to go up, the arms are going to go up, and raise them all the way up over your head. And exhale, arms come down, hips come down. And keep going 2 more in your own breath. After the third one, just come to a rest. And then we're just going to windshield wipe our knees back and forth a couple times. So as you inhale, just keep your knees pointed up to the sky. As you exhale, allow the knees to go over to the right. Inhale and come back up to facing to the ceiling. And exhale, allow the knees to go over to the left. Keep going with your breath. In, knees to the top. Exhale, knees over to the right. Once more, both sides. After you've finished those, go ahead and bring your knees right into your chest. Give them a really big hug and just take a few circles in one direction, followed by a few circles in the other direction. And then keep those knees, pause here, keep those knees tight into the chest. And you're going to start to rock and roll back and forth a couple times. Go at least 3 times and then rock yourself up to an easy seated position. And once you're in your seated position, you can grab pillows or a blanket or a block and just have a seat on them so that you're raising your hips higher than your knees. I like to sit on a block, makes it nice and easy. And then once you're there, we're going to just go into some shoulder and neck stretches. So interlace your fingers behind your back. Inhale and just take your hands away from your back as much as you're able. Open up the chest. And as you exhale, bring your hands over to the right side of your waist. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, lean your right ear towards your right hands and right waist. Just open up through that left neck and shoulder. Long, deep breaths here. Just focusing on that opening. On your next exhale, you're going to rotate your chin down towards your shoulder. Maybe draw your ears back over your shoulder a little bit. And just starts to change the muscles that we're opening through that neck. And on the next inhale, bring your head back up to neutral. Release your hands. Take your arms out wide and just flip and flop your hands up and down a couple times to reset those shoulders. Then we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back once more, this time taking the opposite thumb on top. So it'll feel a little weird. And then as you inhale, draw those hands once more behind your back. And exhale, bring your hands over to the left side of your waist. And go ahead and pull the ears away from the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, lean those ears over to the left, towards your left waist and left hands. Keep drawing those shoulders away from the ears, opening up through the neck. And then just like before, trying to keep the ears over the shoulders, but start to rotate the chin towards that left armpit, left side. Again, drawing those shoulders away from the ears, allowing the opening to take place through the neck, through the shoulder. And inhale, coming back up to neutral, release those hands, take them out wide, and flip and flop the palms up and down a couple more times. And then remove anything you're sitting on, and we're going to come to a tabletop position. So in your tabletop position, make sure that the knees are stacked under the hips, hip width apart, and the wrists are stacked under the shoulders, shoulder width apart. From there, we'll come into our cat-cow. So as you inhale, you're going to look up, squeeze those shoulder blades together, tailbone curls up. And as you exhale, look towards the belly button, curl the tailbone under, push through those hands so the shoulder blades push apart. Keep going with your breath. Inhale, let those shoulder blades squeeze together as you look up. And exhale, push through those hands, dome the back, push those shoulder blades apart. Keep going with your breath. We're going to do 3 or 4 more. And come to a pause here. I can still be seen here. Good. And then we're going to take all the weight into our left hand as we take our right fingertips out in front of us as much as we can. At the same time, take the weight into your right knee so you can push your left heel out towards the back of your mat, toes pointing towards the earth or towards the mat. So you're really extending out through the fingertips and through your back of your heel. And at the same time, pull that shoulder into its socket and your hip into its socket. There's a push and a pull going from the top and the bottom of each limb. Keep breathing here. Make sure you're pulling your belly button up to your spine and maintaining a nice neutral position with your back. I'm going to pause for 2 more breaths here. On your next exhale, hand and knee to the mat. We're going to go the other side. So take all the weight into the right hand this time. Left fingers reach out. Right heel reaches back. Right toes pointed to the mat. Draw that belly button up. Make sure you've maintained a nice neutral spine. Draw your shoulder into the socket, your hip into the socket, and keep pushing out with the fingertips and the heel. Breathing here. One more breath. As you exhale, hand down, knees down. We're going to just step our right foot forward between our hands and find a nice lunge position. So if you want to use blocks here, if you struggle to get your hands to the ground, blocks are fine as well. And once you've found your position, go ahead, shine your chest out towards the front. So you're keeping nice length through your spine. Allow your hips to be as heavy as you like. That back knee is still down. Just stretching through those hips, opening them up. One more breath here. And as you exhale, straighten that front leg, draw the toes up towards the nose. Again, you can use blocks. You can leave your hands where they were, or you can start to walk them backwards if you need to. Whichever position you choose, try and keep length in the spine and shine your chest towards your ankle, opening up through your hamstring, back of your thigh. On your next exhale, coming back forward into your lunge, just pause for 1 breath. And then on your next exhale, just bring that right knee back, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So step that left foot forward in between the hands, still using the blocks if you'd like, allowing the hips to hang heavy. Make sure that front knee is stacked right over the front ankle. I'll give that cue many times throughout the class. Every time we're in a lunge position, it's always the front knee over the front ankle. Shine your chest out to the front. Keep length in the spine. Let the hips hang heavy. Breathe here. One more breath. And then as you exhale, straighten that front leg. Draw the toes up towards the nose. Find the right position for your hands. And once more, keep length in the spine, shining your chest towards your ankle. Drawing the toes up towards the nose. One more breath. Exhale, coming back to that lunge, holding for one breath. And then exhale, stepping that left foot back, curling your toes under, taking your hips up high to find your downward dog. First downward dog of the day. Let's go ahead and walk it out, bending one knee at a time, allowing the opposite heel to rise up. So you're getting a calf stretch in each calf as you walk the dog. While you're walking the dog, just bring attention to your hands. Make sure you spread your fingers as wide as they can possibly go, and maybe press a little bit more through the L shape created by the index and the thumb. Let's come to stillness with the heels. Bend your knees just slightly more than they already are, and push your chest towards your ankles so you open up through the upper back and your shoulders. And just take a little attention to your elbows. Make sure they're not locked. And then let your head hang nice and heavy here. Maybe give it a little shake no, a little shake yes. Just pause here for 2 more breaths. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to come to a plank position, knees up or down on the mat, either or, hips in line with the shoulders. Inhale here. Then we're all going to lower to the mat slowly, knees, chest, chin, in that order, keeping the elbows tucked in nice and tight to the rib cage. Once you make it to the mat, take your arms down by your waist, palms facing down. Push the front of the feet into your mat, backs of the knees towards the sky. Inhale, you can lift your chest and chin off the mat and allow your backs of your hands to fly up towards the sky. So it's like a bit of a Superman position. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and down towards your hips. Breathe here. We're going to stay here for a few more breaths. On your next exhale, you're going to lower yourself down to the ground, just taking one cheek to the mat. And you can take your arms up to a T position or a cross. Turn your thumbs up to point up towards the ceiling. Once more, you're going to push into the front of your feet, backs of the knees up towards the sky. Inhale, take your chest and chin off the mat and let your thumbs fly up towards the ceiling. Keep squeezing those shoulders blades together and your shoulders away from your ears. Breathing here. One more breath. Exhale, come down, take the opposite cheek to the mat. And this time you're going to just bring your hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to start with a mini cobra. So it's the same action with the feet and the knees, pushing the front of the feet into the mat, backs and knees to the sky. Inhale, you're going to lift your chest and chin off the mat and just hover your hands above the mat. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, coming all the way down. And then we're going to repeat that again. Inhale, come up to that mini cobra. And then as you exhale, place your hands on the mat. Inhale, and go ahead and push yourself up, leaving your hips on the mat, just coming to whatever is comfortable for your low back. And exhale, coming all the way back down. And go one more cobra. Inhale, and that's your full cobra with the hands on the ground. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, push back into tabletop, curl your toes under, and go back up to your downward dog. Breathe here for 2 or 3 nice long breaths. And just remember all those little cues. Maybe bend those knees a little bit so you can really push the chest towards the ankles. Let your head hang nice and heavy. Spread your fingers wide. After your next exhale, rise up onto your little tippy toes and start to just do little baby steps all the way forward to the front of the mat until your feet land between your hands. Once you're there, we're going to inhale to a halfway lift, straightening out the back, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, you're going to forward fold from those hips once more. And then we're going to go into a ragdoll here. So keep your feet roughly hip width apart, and you can grab opposite elbows or let your hands dangle, your choice. Let your head hang really heavy here, like a coconut in a palm tree. And then you can start to sway side to side, or swing your arms, make semicircles with your hands if they're dangling on the mat. Your choice, but just imagine that ragdoll. That's what we are right now. And come to stillness once more. Let the hands come to the mat. Inhale, hands on the shins, up to a halfway lift once more. Keep that back nice and straight. Exhale to a forward fold. And then inhale, we're going to rise all the way up, one vertebrae at a time, allowing each vertebrae to stack upon each other until the head comes up last. And then once you're there, we're going to go ahead and come to the top of our mat. And we're going to do a little progression of our sequences today. So Matthew's been at my classes before when we do what I call a pyramid. But what it means is that we'll do roughly 3 moves at a time through the vinyasa. And then each time we go through the vinyasa, I'll add 3 more moves. So we're going to do basically 3 times through our sequence. First time we'll have 3 moves, the next time we'll have 6 moves, and the third time we'll have 9 moves on each side. So it will take us a while to get through it. So take your time. If you need to rest at any point, then please rest. Child's pose or constructive rest. All right, let's get going. Inhale, take the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold all the way to the earth, swan dive. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to a forward fold. Step your feet back to a plank position, knees up or down. Inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Keep those elbows tight into the rib cage. Inhale to cobra. Curl your toes under, push back. Exhale to downward dog. Pause here for just a few breaths. On your next inhale, you're going to take your right heel to the sky, toes pointed down. Exhale, squeeze the knee into the chest as tight as you can, and then float that right foot forward as quietly as possible to land between your hands. Take your back foot, bring it forward half a footprint, toes pointed out 45 degrees. Your feet should be roughly hip width apart. Inhale, you're going to come up to a warrior one, stacking that front knee over your front ankle. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And try and get lots of energy going through the outside edge of your back foot, down your back leg. Make sure that front knee is pointed over the second toe and not swaying out one side or the other. This is your warrior one. Draw your belly button into the tummy. On your next exhale, you're going to take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Inhale, take them away from the back. Exhale, you're going to fold forward, torso coming towards the inside of your knee. Humble warrior. Just one extra breath here. And on your next inhale, coming all the way back up to your warrior one. And then on your exhale, you're going to take your left hand forward, right hand back, and turn to your right. So you're twisted in your warrior one, a little revolved warrior one here. That's our third move. I don't count multiple warrior ones as a move. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, hands to the earth. Step your right foot back to your downward dog. Inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, back to your downward dog. Pause here for a couple breaths. Know that we'll go through that vinyasa several times this practice, the vinyasa being plank, knees, chest, chin, cobra, downward dog. If you want to skip that vinyasa at any time, just go straight back to downward dog and skip the part going down to the mat. And just join us again when we meet you at downward dog. One more breath here. Inhale, take the left heel to the sky, toes pointed down. Exhale, pull that knee into the chest, hold it tight, and then float the left foot forward quietly between the hands, finding the lunge on this side. Once you're there, step that back foot forward, half a footprint, toes pointed at 45 degrees, feet still hip width apart. Inhale, come up to your warrior one, just like before. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, knees stacked over the front ankle, energy going down the back leg into the back edge of that foot. Draw the belly button in towards your tummy. One more breath here in warrior one. On your next exhale, interlace your fingers behind your back, opposite direction. Inhale, take them away from the back. Exhale, fold forward just as far as you're able, torso towards the inside of that knee. Inhale, coming all the way up, taking the hands to the sky. Warrior one. Exhale, you're gonna take your left hand back, right hand forward, revolve and look to the left for your revolved warrior one. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Exhale, take the hands to the mat. Step that left foot back to your plank position. So this is where you have a choice, vinyasa or straight to downward dog. Inhale, exhale, knees, chest, chin if you're doing the vinyasa. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, curl the toes under, back to downward dog. Pause for 3 breaths. The end of your next breath, step or walk your feet to the front of your mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to a forward fold. And inhale, you're going to reverse your swan dive. Take your arms all the way back up to the sky. Exhale, hands to your side. So that was one with 3 moves. So now we'll add an additional 3 moves to that. Inhale, take the arms to the sky. Exhale, swan dive to the earth, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to a forward fold. Step your feet back to that plank position. Inhale once in plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, curl the toes under, back to downward dog. Pause here for just a couple of breaths. Inhale, we're going to take the right foot all the way to the sky. You can start to open up the hip. The toes don't have to be pointed down this time. And then exhale, squeeze that knee into the chest and float the right foot forward between the hands. Step the back foot forward, half a footprint, 45 degrees. You know these first moves, 3 moves. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind you. Inhale, take them away from the back. Exhale, forward fold, humble warrior. Inhale, coming up, releasing the hands back to warrior one. Exhale, left hand forward, right hand back, twisting to the right. On your next inhale, back up to warrior one. Then exhale, hands to the waist, straighten that front leg. Inhale, squeeze your elbows behind you as though they were to kiss. Exhale, halfway fold over a nice front straight leg. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. And this is again where you can reach for blocks or your leg or the mat, depending on the flexibility of your hamstrings. Just take a notice of your hips. You want both of the bony parts of your hips to be pointing forward. And if they're not, you may just need to draw that front hip backwards a little bit. And you should notice more stretch in your hamstring as you do so. Now, if you have a block, you're going to just bring it in towards the inside of your left foot and take the weight into your hand. And you can choose whatever level. You might want the medium level. You may even want the tallest level. You'll see where I'm going. So you can change that level afterwards if you need to. If you don't have a block or books, you can use a piece of your leg as well. We're going to take the right hand to the right hip. Inhale, and you're going to roll that right shoulder up towards the sky. This is where you might decide that you need a different level for your block. And once you have your balance here, if you get your balance, you can stay here, or you can take your right hand to the sky for your revolve triangle. Keep pulling that right hip back, left hip forward to help you maintain some balance. And you can either look up at your top hand or look in a neutral position or down at your bottom hand, whatever makes sense for you and your neck. Exhale, take the hands back down and come back into a lunge. One breath in your lunge. And then exhale, step that right foot back to your plank position. Inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or go straight to downward dog. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, curl the toes under, back to up to downward dog. Breathe here. I'm going to pause for a couple of breaths. Just notice any differences now between the right side and the left side. I've gone through a sequence on one side, but not the other. On your next breath in, take your left foot to the sky, as far as you can get it up there. Exhale, bring that knee into the chest, squeeze it in tight, and then float that left foot forward between the hands. Bring that back foot forward, half a footprint, toes pointed out 45 degrees. Inhale, and we're going to come up to our warrior one. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Keep the hips square to the front of the room. Exhale, interlace the fingers in the opposite direction behind your back. Other thumb goes on top. Inhale, hands away from the back. Exhale, forward fold, humble warrior, torso on the inside of the knee. And then inhale, coming all the way up, releasing the hands back to your warrior one. Exhale, left hand back, right hand forward, twisting to the left. Keeping that front knee stacked over the ankle, hips pointed forward. Inhale, coming all the way up. Warrior one. Exhale, hands to the waist, straighten that front leg. Squeeze those elbows behind you. Inhale. Exhale, halfway fold over a nice straight front leg. Inhale here. Exhale, you're going to reach for mat, blocks, books, leg, wherever it makes sense for you. And once more, bring attention to those hips, maybe drawing that left hip back this time, just to make sure both bony parts of your hips are parallel to each other, pointing forward. Couple more breaths here as we just allow that hamstring to stretch. And then if you have books or blocks, bring them to the inside of that left foot and take all your weight into your right hand. No blocks, either use your mat or your leg. Left hand to your left hip. Inhale and roll that left shoulder up towards the sky, finding a twist through the spine. You can either stay here or you can take that left hand to the sky, finding a revolved triangle. Keep breathing here. Exhale, bringing both hands to the mat and coming into your lunge. Back knee off the ground. Inhale. Exhale, step that left foot back. Inhale in your plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, curl the toes under. Back to downward dog. We'll pause for 2 or 3 breaths. On your next exhale, step or walk your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to a forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way back up to the sky, reversing your swan dive, and exhale, hands to the waist. All right, one more to go. Final part of the pyramid. So you know where we're going for the first few moves, and then there might only be, I have to decide. Oh, there'll be 2 moves at the end. All right, inhale, take the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to a forward fold, stepping both feet back to your plank position. Inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, curl the toes under, back to your downward dog. Pause here for a couple breaths. Inhale, take that right foot to the sky as far as you can. This time we'll allow the knee to bend. Open that right hip up towards the sky. Take a look under the right armpit. Allow a little bit of a twist in your spine so that your right foot falls over towards the left. And then inhale, straighten the legs, square your hips off back towards the mat. Exhale, squeeze the knee in tight and float the right foot forward. Bring the back foot forward half a footprint. Inhale, come up to your warrior one. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhale, take them away from the back. Exhale, forward fold into your humble warrior. Inhale, coming all the way up. Release the hands, back up to your warrior one. On your next exhale, left hand back, right hand forward, twisting to the left. I feel like I got that wrong. Yep, right hand back, left hand forward, twisting to the right. Sorry. And then inhale, coming all the way up, straightening the front leg. Take your hands to the hips. Inhale, and squeeze those elbows together. Exhale, halfway fold, nice straight back. Inhale. Exhale. Coming into that full stretch, finding blocks, mat, leg. You know your preference. Keeping that front leg as straight as possible. Bring that left block or books or prop in closer to the right foot. Take your right hand right hand to your hip. Inhale, turn the right shoulder up to the sky, and maybe take the right hand to the sky, revolve triangle. Exhale, bringing the hands back to the mat, coming into your lunge. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, drop the back knee. And then inhale, coming all the way up, hands at heart center. So you're in a kneeling position here. Make sure that front knee stays stacked over the front ankle. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist and look to the right. Inhale here. And then exhale, you're going to tilt forward. Right elbow should be pointing up at the sky. You can be pushing through those hands to push your hands towards heart center. Open the right shoulder up to the sky. You can choose to stay here, or you can choose to curl your back toes under and take your back knee off the mat. Keep your eyes focused on something still in front of you for balance. Exhale, you're going to bring your hands back to the ground. Step your right foot back so you're in a plank position. Once again, knees up or down. If you're taking your knees down, take only your left knee down. You're going to take your left hand, bring it to the center of the mat so your nose is pointed at your hand. And you're going to rotate, and we're going to do a side plank. So the bottom knee can be down, or you can take both legs straight, balancing on just your feet. Either way, hips nice and high. All that weight's through the left hand for a side plank. Breathing here. One more breath. Exhale. Both hands back to the mat. Onto your hands and knees to start. Curl the toes under. And exhale back to your downward dog. Thought I put a little challenge in for the top of that pyramid. Breathe here for a couple breaths. Recover. See how the body feels. Right side, left side. On your next breath in, take the left foot to the sky. And go ahead, bend that left knee. Let the foot fall to the right. Look under the left armpit. Open that left hip up towards the sky. Breathe here. Nice equal weight through both hands. Inhale. Straighten the knee. Square those hips off back towards the earth. Squeeze the knee in tight. And then float that left foot forward between the hands. Bring the right foot forward, half a footprint, toes pointed out 45 degrees. Inhale to your warrior one. One more breath here. Exhale and interlace your fingers behind you in that opposite direction, other thumb on top. Inhale, take the hands away from the back. Exhale, humble warrior, folding forward, hands towards the sky. Inhale, coming all the way up, releasing the hands back to warrior one. On your next exhale, left hand back, right hand forward, twisting to the left. Twisted warrior. Inhale, coming all the way back up to your warrior one. Exhale, hands to your waist, straighten the front leg. Inhale, squeeze those elbows behind you as far as you can. Exhale, halfway fold over that nice straight front leg. Inhale here. And then exhale, reaching for your props or the mat or your leg. Keep that front leg as straight as possible. Nice stretch here. If you've got props, bring them closer to the inside of that right foot so you can take all the weight into that right hand. Take your left hand to the waist. Inhale, take that left shoulder to the sky, and maybe take the left hand to the sky for your revolved warrior. Exhale, hands back to the mat, and coming into your lunge. Back knee off the mat to start, just for the lunge. And then on your next exhale, dropping that back knee and coming up to your kneeling position, hands at heart center. Inhale here. And then exhale, you're going to turn and rotate that body to the left. Hook that knee, that elbow on the outside of the knee, and the left elbow pointed up to the ceiling. Push through those hands. So you're opening that left shoulder towards the sky. And then you can either choose to stay here or curl the back toes under and take the back knee off the ground. Your choice. One more breath. Exhale, bring both hands to the mat, step the left foot back to your plank position. And once again, knees up or down. Inhale. As you exhale, shift that right hand to the center of the mat. So your nose is pointing down at the back of your right hand. And you're going to come into your side plank on this side. Bottom knee up or down, your choice. Left hand to the sky, hips nice and high. Breathing here. One more breath. Exhale, coming back to your plank pose, dropping your knees, and coming back to a child's pose. Well done. You made it through the whole pyramid. Take a moment just to pause here and breathe. As you're breathing, just try and bring control back to your breath. Sometimes you get a little winded as we do those longer sequences. Feel your tummy breathe, pushing against the thighs, and your back expanding towards the sky as you fill your lungs. Inhale, you're going to come up to tabletop. We're going to get ready for pigeon pose. So you have a choice to either do pigeon pose, or if you have any knee problems, you can do reclined fours. So Matthew and Emily, you probably know where you're going. You can go ahead and get set up. So you're bringing that right knee back to the back of your right wrist and bringing that shin as far forward. Marie, if you have knee problems, you want an alternative, I'm just going to quickly show that first. And that's just lying on your back, crossing your right ankle over your left knee and bringing both legs in towards the chest, keeping the right toes nice and flexed up towards the ceiling. Either way, we're going to be getting the stretch through the glutes. So if you want to try the regular pigeon, it's bringing the knee towards the back of the right wrist and scooching the back leg behind you. You could use a block here underneath your right hip if you want to support. All right, and then you may just pick up that right foot and bring it a little bit closer to the front of your mat. You want that right shin to be as parallel as possible to the front of your mat, but most of us don't get there. Then you can either stay up on your hands, or you can start to walk your hands forward onto your elbows. Some people go even further. Some get their head all the way to the mat. It's different for everybody, and it's different from side to side. As long as you're feeling something, that's the most important thing. And most people feel it around their right butt cheek, right hip. Some people feel on the back of their left thigh as well. Once you're there, bring attention to your breath. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. So just like we do in yin yoga, we imagine our lungs can extend all the way down to the hips. And as you breathe in, breathe the air all the way down into where you're feeling that stretch. And notice the effect of the breath as you breathe in and when you breathe out. One more breath here. On your next inhale, go ahead and start to walk your hands back up. I'm going to find your way back to a tabletop position, however you might get there, so that we can set up on the other side. So same thing on this side, you're going to bring the left knee back towards the back of your left wrist. So the foot is coming up towards the back of your right wrist. All right, make sure that back leg is nice and straight behind you. And again, you can use a bolster pillow underneath that left hip. And then once you're there, maybe pick up that left foot and try and just pull it a little bit closer to the front of the mat, trying to get that shin as parallel as possible towards the front of the mat. And then inhale. And then as you exhale, you can walk your hands forward. You have to excuse my very loud cat. And coming down to your elbows, maybe further. You can, if you have a block, you can even stack your head on top of a block if that makes life easier. And you might notice the side is better or worse than the other side, which is pretty normal. And once you've made it to the position that makes sense for you, come back to your breath and just bring some focus back to the breath and the effect. When you inhale all the way down to your hips, how does that feel? And as you empty your lungs out fully and completely, how does that change the stretch? One more breath here. On your next inhale, walking those hands back up. Take all the weight into your left hip so you can swing your legs around and bring them out in front of you. And once you do so, just notice if your back is collapsing at all. And if it is, you can sit on a cushion or a block just to keep your back nice and straight. And then we're going to inhale, take the arms to the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to just fold forward from your hips, allowing your hands to land wherever they land. So it might be on your shins, ankles, toes. Some people get beyond that. Wherever you go, imagine that you're drawing your chest closer to your ankles so that you keep lengthening your spine. So as you inhale, think about lengthening through the spine, shining your chest towards those ankles. And as you exhale, folding from your hips, keeping that length. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Keep going for a few more breaths. On your next inhale, walking the hands back up the legs. And we're going to make our way to a lying down position here. So just taking the feet flat onto the mat, knees bent. You're going to take your palms, face them up towards the sky, and lean back about 45 degrees. Just rest, shining the chest up towards the sky. From here, we're going to slowly lower ourselves to the ground, trying not to flop as we get there. We're going to do it on a count of 10, my count of 10. So starting at 10, slowly lowering 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we should have all made it to the ground. So once you're lying down on the ground, we're going to bring both knees into the chest. And then go ahead and rock side to side a couple times just to give your low back a bit of a massage. And then stay hanging on to that right knee as you take your left leg long on the ground. Hang on to your knee with your left hand. Take your right arm out wide and keep that right shoulder blade glued to the mat now as you draw the knee over to the left, giving a nice little twist in the spine, only going as far as your shoulder blade stays on the ground. Over towards your right hand. Keep breathing here. Inhale, coming back up, bringing both knees into the chest, giving a little squeeze, and then releasing the right leg, letting it go long on the ground. Keep hanging on to the knee with the right hand and take your left arm out wide. Let's keep the left shoulder blade glued to the mat this time as we draw the knee over to the right, looking over towards that left hand for a twist on this side. Inhale, coming back up to center, bringing both knees into the chest once more. This time we're going to take big opposite circles with the knees like a pair of egg beaters. So they're going in opposite directions. A few times one direction, and then we'll pause. We'll go a few times the other direction. And pause once more. Take the knees wide to the outside of your rib cage. We'll set up for happy baby. So soles of the feet towards the sky. You can grab your outside edges of your feet, or use your peace fingers and use them around your big toe. Either way works. Drawing your knees down towards the ground, sort of in the direction of your armpits. Keep your tailbone low to the ground. This is your happy baby. From here, you can start to just gently rock side to side, giving that low back a bit of massage, rocking like a baby would. And pausing once more, coming to stillness, releasing the feet, letting the big toes come together, and allowing the feet to come back to the ground, taking the legs long as we get ready for the final posture of the day, our Shavasana. So legs long, arms away from the body, palms facing up towards the sky. And then take a nice long deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, let it all out. And then close down the mouth and come back to your natural breath now. Not having to think about any yoga breath or any counting, just whatever your natural breath looks like. And then just release your jaw, allow it to soften, maybe allowing the teeth just to fall a little further apart than usual. Your tongue to soften, and rest the tip of your tongue just gently behind your front teeth. Smooth out any lines on your face, and allow the space between your eyebrows to widen at your third eye. Feel where your head makes contact with the earth, and allow the earth to fully support the weight of your head so that the muscles on the front and the back of your neck can fully relax down into the earth. Notice where your shoulder blades and your upper back make contact with the earth. And allow all the muscles behind your shoulder blades, your upper spine, and across the front of your chest to fully relax so your shoulders continue to melt down towards the earth. Notice where your low back or your butt makes contact with the earth. Maybe your low back doesn't make contact, and that's fine too. Allow all the muscles from your spine all the way down towards your glutes, your hip flexors, and your abdominals all to fully relax and melt down towards the earth. Notice where the backs of your arms and your hands make contact with the earth. Allow your arms to fully relax. And then notice where your legs make full contact with the earth and your feet. Allow your legs and your feet to fully relax here. For these last few minutes, your only job is just to relax. Allow yourself just to be present here on the mat. And if your mind starts to wander, that's no different than falling out of a posture. It's okay. No reason to chastise yourself. Just observe that it's happened and come back to the present. Come back to where you are on your mat in this fully relaxed state. Take one more nice long deep breath in through the nose. Let it all out through the mouth. And then just start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, bringing a little life back to the hands and the feet. Turn your head from one side to the other, just allowing the spine to awaken. Take your arms up overhead. Give yourself a big stretch all the way from the toes up to the fingertips. And then bring your knees into your chest for one last hug. Once you're there, go ahead and roll onto whichever side you prefer, allowing your lower arm just to pillow your head. Stay here for 1 or 2 nourishing breaths. And then when you're ready, push yourself away from the ground and come on up to a nice, easy seated position. And once you're there, just bring your hands to heart center and just take a moment to thank yourself for bringing yourself out to yoga, looking after your body and your mind in our lovely stay-at-home isolation that we're in. I thank you all for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. And if you want to come off mute to say a few words, you may, or you can say goodbye.
Thanks, Christina.
No problem, Matthew.
Yeah, thanks, Christina. That was very enjoyable, Christina.
Good. Glad you were able to do it all.
Yeah, having the blocks makes a big difference with the harder poses.
Yeah.
So that's
For
pretty
sure.
good for me. So
Good. Well done.
hopefully I make it Friday morning.
Excellent. We'll see you then.
Yeah, see you. Thank you so much. Bye.
No problem. Bye, Emily.
Bye. Thanks. It was really good. And yeah, I plan to be there on Friday too.
All right. We'll see you then.
Great. Thanks.
See
Have a
you.
nice evening.
Bye.
Bye.